Let's take a look at histograms in the R language. So I'm going to do a file new script, and then I'll go ahead and do a file save. And I'll call it histogram so I can bring it up later and change it, and I don't have to remember all the syntax and everything. First thing I'm going to do is create a grades data set. And these are numbers that I edit, copy, and edit paste from Excel. These are actual final exam scores out of possible 30 points. Okay. First off, I'm going to just do a straight histogram. So I do histogram, hist is the name, and then I pass in a data set, grades. So I'm going to save that and do an edit, run all, and gives us this. Now, looks like it's a little hard to see where something begins and where something ends on this. So we can change the breaks that are occurring with it. We can say breaks equals 4, for example. Save that and then run it. And we get this breakdown. So you've got 15, 20, 25, and 30. So it looks like there's seven numbers between 15 and 20. Let's count that. 7 numbers between 15 and 20. Here's 1. Here's 2. Here's 3. Here's 4, 5, 6, and 7. Assuming I counted correctly. I could put those in sorted order so I could see it a little bit better, but that's okay. Okay, now instead of that, let's change, and I always have to play with the syntax here. Right is equal to, let's set that to false. And then run it. Okay. And go to Windows, go to Graphics Device, and we get this. Now it tells us between 15 and 20 there's 6, where before it told us there was 7. Well, the question is, if you got a value that falls on 20, what does it fall on? Does it fall in this bar, or does it fall in this bar? By setting it to right equals false, then the 20 would be counted over here. Where, if I change this, let's see if I can shrink this down a little bit so we can see both more or less on the same screen. If I have this changed to true, that means that it'll include that. Do a file save, do an edit, run all. Then you see that's counted in this. So the question becomes, this data point right here, which one does it get counted in? In this particular bar here or this particular bar? So again, you can set right to true or false depending upon what you want. Setting it to true means that if you got a borderline number, it'll fall in the category to the left in that class. Okay, now I can change this to 5 for breaks, and let's run it again. Now when I did this, it didn't change anything. Sometimes what you'll find is that when you change your breaks and you think it's going to give you a different setup, it doesn't. I don't know if it's a flaw with the program or what. If I do 6 and run it, well, then we get more breakdowns than we think. So breaks here may not be that useful. There's a better way to do breaks, and let me show that. Instead of doing a 6 and trying to let it decide how to break things, you specify. So I'll do a C and then I'll put the breakdowns. Like my smallest number is 15, so I do 15, 20, 25, and 30. Let me put these on separate lines so you can specifically see them. There we go. Okay, so I'll do a save on that, and let me make that a little bit smaller. Bring that over. Okay, and then I'll do an edit, run all. And it starts at 15, 20, 25, and 30. Well, that's not much different than that first one we had. But realize I can put anything here. I can put 10, 20, and 30. Save, run it. 10, 20, and 30. So again, it tells what your classes are going to be. Starting with your first lower class limit, and ending with your upper class limit, and then adding your class width over and over. Now it doesn't have to go by tens like this. I could put I could put 17 in here. So this gives you a lot more control than that breaks. And maybe I just don't know how to use the breaks. And you see we got different sizes then. This is 10 for this first side. This is 17. And this is 30. Maybe there's a time when you want to do that. Let me change that back. Okay, we set our smallest number is 15. And it's going to be 20, 25, and 30. Probably want them equal. Run all. And 15, 20, 25, 30. Now this does not determine what's on your bottom bar here. What this determines is what's happening between the bars up here. Okay. Now instead of doing 15 to 30 like that, you could do breaks. Let me comment this out. See if I can remember what the comment is. I think it's pound sign. You could do breaks equals sequence, and we're going to go from 15 to 30, comma, and then by equals 5. So we're going to go by 5s. So I do a save there and run it. And you see we get the same result. So we need to get an error. Let me clear this. Sometimes in your graph it doesn't change, but it actually didn't work. So let's try this again. So I'll do an edit, run all. Let's verify we don't get any errors in the console. No errors. So it gives us the same result. It should. I have a lot better luck if I either specifically spell out the breakpoints where the bar is going to break, or if I use a sequence. Now if I change this by 2s, let me save that and run it. And didn't run. Okay, let's try it again. File, save, edit, run all. That's curious. Let me close that. Bring the console up over here. Clear this. And now try running it. Okay, we got an error. Some X not counted. I did 15 by 30, or 1530 by 2s, and by 2s probably didn't make any sense. And it said that maybe there's something wrong with our breaks. So realize you just cannot randomly put any numbers in there. Instead of 2s, let's put 3 in there. And I'll do a save. Let me come clear out my console and right click on it, choose clear window. Click this and do it run. Okay, that time it worked. Because think what I'm doing by 3s. 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. Everything's accounted for. But when I went by 2s, 15, 17, 19, 21, 23, 25, 27, 29, 31. Did not match. My beginning and ending didn't work quite right. So, and again, this corresponds to these bars right here. Nothing to do with this scale down here. So this first bar would be 15. This would be 18, 21, 24, 27, and 30. Obviously, if you set your sequence too low, if you do ones, you're going to get a real bizarre looking graph. There'll be a bunch of zeros probably, and then some up a ways. Let me save that. Now, if you can, you want to do a window and tile these accordingly. I have little luck with getting these to look right. That time actually looked pretty good. I tried tiling last night and it didn't work at all. Okay, so now if I run this, let me right click on this, clear the window, and let's see, edit, click up here, edit, run all. That goes by ones. So this is 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and so forth. And you can see you get strange results. Now sometimes you have to play with a histogram just to get the shape you're wanting. And keep in mind, you can't just put any number here. It has to, if it ends at 30, then it has to actually end at 30. Let me put that back to 5. And then do a save. And I'll run it. Okay, 15, 20, and 3 bars is probably not enough. So maybe I want to go, let's say, actually, that's probably fine. That's fine. Okay. Getting too picky. I'm trying to demonstrate this. I'm not trying to illustrate how much data is in each one. Now look at our graph here. See what that looks like, and then if I maximize it, see we get a different graph. So do not think that just because you have it at this size that it actually represents the data. That's skewing the data. Okay, that's the breaks. Now if I want to change that label across the bottom, the one says grades, that's the X label. So I'm going to say XLab equals, and this say final exam grades in comma. And then if I run that, you'll see it change the final exam grades. If I want to change the label on the side, see how it says frequency? Maybe I want to say scores or count, sorry. Then I'll do Y label equals count, then comma, save that and run it. You see it changes it to count. Maybe I want to have colors here. Actually, let me change the main label there. Change the main label. Even though you might think main LAB, it's actually main equals final exam scores fall 2014, comma. And then I'll run that. And you can see it changes that title there. Maybe I want colors here. And so I'm going to come up here and define a data set of colors. So I'll say colors equals, see, red and blue. Then down here in my histogram, I'm going to have color equals colors. Now the colors there, that refers to my data set name that I specified right here. Okay, let me save that and run it. Now I had red and blue. Since I had only 2 colors, but I had 3 bars, what it does is it does red, blue, and then it repeats the colors. So if I want another color there, like green, then I want to put green. Save that and run it. And it puts your green. Now if you have another color there, if you have like yellow, a fourth color, but you only have 3 bars, let's see what happens. So I do an edit, run all, and you see since there isn't a 4th bar, it doesn't put yellow on there. And again, I could increase that size to get that. Now when you have this open, this changes some of the different options available. And under File, you see there's a copy the clipboard as a bitmap. So if I choose that, then I can go into Word, for example, and I can paste this in. So if you wanted to include this in on a report of some sort, then that's how you do it. You could also do a File, Save As, and save it in some kind of graphical format, and with different quality for the JPEG and bitmap, PNG, and so forth. You even save it to PDF. So different options available. It wouldn't be very useful if you could create a graph in R, but then you couldn't export it in some manner. Now you can always do a print screen, and then you can individually take it into a Paint program and copy what you want. So that's always a good option, because that's an option that's available in any Windows package. You don't have to have special resources available with that. And to do that, you just press your print screen, and that'll capture the entire screen. Then you can paste it in and start changing it. Anyway, I'm gonna close that graphic, and I'll maximize this just briefly. And just to recap, if I was going to change this for future problems, I would need to put in whatever data points I'm working with. If necessary, add more colors. I think in an earlier trial when I was playing, I put mauve in. It didn't recognize mauve as a color. Maybe it isn't. I'm not very good with colors. And then down here, this name should match this name. So unless you change that, it'll stay that way. And then do your breaks, whether you want to specify them individually like this, or you want to do from a beginning to an end by a certain amount. Either way to do that. Change your X label, change your Y label, change your main label. And you can leave colors there and set right equal true or false, whichever is appropriate for your particular problem. And then you run it, and that'll give you your histogram. So very easy way to modify for future use. Now I'm going to go ahead and close that and resize that. In this video, we took a look at how to create a histogram using the R language, and definitely this doesn't include every option available on the histogram, but I covered the ones I thought would be most important in a elementary statistics course.